All right, welcome to another episode of the Audubon, your man, God of Docs. We back here, man. Thursday, week 7 preview. Get some housekeeping out of the way. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard lately, man. Get it together. Get it together. You messed up my flow, messed up my mojo. Ugh. All right. Now that I got that out of the way. How you doing, Miss Murph? How you doing, Miss Murph? We're gonna be talking about your Eagles. We're gonna talk about your Eagles. Luckily for the haters out there, the Cowboys have a bye week, so we won't be talking about them this week. Hold on, let me close this side because I'm working on some stuff. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. Housekeeping, of course, tomorrow. Probably do a start time around the same time, 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock. We're going to be doing an NBA preview season tips off on the 24th, which is next Tuesday. The season kicks off. We're going to be breaking down some of the big storylines heading to the new NBA season. Like I said, if you've been watching the show, listening to the show, periodically I'll drop some gems, some big news as far as the NBA is concerned, but I'm really kind of saving that till the NFL season is over. I don't want to have too much on my plate. I don't want to have too much on my plate. But we're gonna, do that tomorrow. Like I said, NBA preview tomorrow. Season tips off next week. Very excited for it. Might watch the first week of games. I might watch the first week of games, and after that, 82 is kind of hard for me to keep up with game after game after game after game. So yeah. We're gonna get heavy to that later on in the season, but we're gonna focus in on the NFL tonight. Focus in on NFL tonight. We're gonna start with tonight's game. Kickoff is at, I believe, 8:15. You got Jaguars and Saints. Now, I talked a little trash about the Jaguars. So far as this season, I've told them, they're kind of up and down. I'm not sold on them. I'm not confident in them, even though they do have a winning record. I think the record's sitting at 4-2 on a short week, traveling down to New Orleans. New Orleans, another team that's been kind of up and down this year, but one thing that's remained constant with New Orleans so far this season has been the defense. But surprisingly, when I went back, looked at the numbers, looked at the stats, um, you anticipate we're gonna talk about it, Miss Murphy. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna, because you guys, I may be giving y'all the clap, what I'm saying, or I may be giving y'all the gong. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But we'll get to that later on in the show, man. Like, StreamYard is just messing all my stuff up, man. Messing all my stuff up tonight. I may just have to do a look into something else. Look into something else. Everything is just kind of. Matter of fact, let me just close this. Let me just close. I got too much stuff open anyway. All right, cool. All right. Back to the preview. I'm getting sidetracked. Sidetracked. Yeah, we got Jaguars and Saints tonight. Saints at home. Like I said, short week. Jaguars coming in, 2-game winning streak. Defenses look fairly well, been forcing turnovers the last couple weeks. I think Trevor Lawrence injured last game. Is scheduled to play this week. Is scheduled to play this week. Is scheduled to play this game. This might be an entertaining game. I think it's going to come down to turnovers. And Jacksonville has done a very good job of forcing turnovers. Typically, on a short week, I like to go with the home team, especially with a team that has a good defense like New Orleans. But I'm just going to say 1 week only. 1 week only. I'm going to go Jags. I'm going to go Jags over the Saints tonight. I think the defense is going to be able to force some turnovers. Derek Carr has a penchant for putting the ball in harm's way. And if you've been watching the New Orleans Saints this season, the offense has not looked good. The defense has done their part. But the offense this has not looked good. Has not looked good at any point of this season to where I can say, I can confidently bank on them. Especially in a game like this, like I said, short week. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it'll be a very low scoring game considering how well both defenses play. But I'm gonna go with the road team. With this time, I'm gonna go with the road team. I'm gonna go Jacksonville over the Saints. Looking forward to a couple games on the Sunday slate, especially some of the earlier games. Very intriguing matchups. The first one I want to start with is the Atlanta Falcons against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is at home. Is this the week? Is this the week that Atlanta pulls the trigger? Go ahead and drop Desmond Ritter put him on the bench where he, where his play, and then I'm just gonna, keep it at that. Where his play says he should be. His play says he should be on the bench. His play doesn't say he should be starting. And Miss Murphy, if you wondering who I'm picking, I'm gonna do an analysis with that kind of gives you a clue, man. Kind of gives you a clue of who I'm picking. But I'll explain. I'll explain why. But it's not hate, man. Trust me, it is not hate. It's all love, all love. But back to the game. Oh yeah, Bucks coming off a very very tough loss to Detroit. Yeah, got outplayed on both sides of the ball. I think Tampa Bay is kind of coming back to the pack. Started off looking fairly well. Started the season. We're only 6 games in, the third of the way through the season. But Tampa Bay, what you showed against Detroit, it does inspire a lot of confidence in me. But Atlanta, if you're rolling out, if Desmond Ritter is the starter, I'm picking against the Falcons every game for the rest of the season. I'm just going to be honest with you. If Desmond Ritter is a starter, look, man, I get it. Young quarterback, you want to get him out there, get him some reps. But dude looks lost. He looks completely lost. Some of the reads that he's making, he's holding back, which has turned out to be a fairly decent team. And I think if you're Atlanta, you look at how the rest of the NFC is kind of shaping up. I mean, it's really a 3-team race for number one right now. You got Philly, Detroit, San Francisco. You got a tier 2 teams. When we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks, Atlanta. You're in a position to not only win a division, you're in a position to possibly, if you don't win a division, get a playoff spot. I think this is the week you have to pull the trigger. I mean, how much more tape does Desmond Ritter have to put out there for you to realize he is not quarterback one in this league right now? And I think, how you doing, beautiful? I think he'll eventually turn into a serviceable quarterback. But look, Atlanta, do not let your season slip away. Force feeding this young man. He has looked. He has. I can't recall any game this season that Desmond Ritter has looked well. Like, you know what? That's a starter right there. Like, no. Like I said, if Atlanta rolls him out as the starter, come Sunday, I'm picking against picking against them every week of the season. Picking against them every week of the season. Some other games to look forward to. The early slate. Probably, I'm gonna say that for just a second. Commanders and Giants. It's a race for the bottom. I thought both teams would be fairly better than what their record implies. Though I am a bit encouraged by the defensive performance that the Giants put out there last week. Washington has the ability to put it together for short stretches, but neither one of these teams has been consistent. This is news coming out of New York that Saquon Barkley, who has been talked about being possibly moved with the upcoming trade deadline. This is a couple guys had been rumored. I will say this about the NFL trade deadline: not much happens. Typically at the trade deadline, a lot of trades that they're done around the draft, done around the free agency period. You don't typically see big name players being traded at the point this point of the season. But Saquon Barkley has come out and said, hey, he doesn't want to be traded at the deadline. And those that know, he is currently on a 1-year deal. I don't think, considering that he's missed some time yet again for that team, I think this is the final year you're going to see Saquon Barkley. But back to this game, it's not must-see TV unless you're a fan of these teams. If I'm going to pick, I'm going to pick Giants. I'm going to pick Giants. They're at home. Like I said, the defense played much better for the first time all season, playing against the Bills last week. So I'm going to go Giants. Commanders, like I said, it's not must-see TV for me unless you are a fan of the team. Another game that's not must-see TV for me, Raiders and Bears. Yawn. It's been reported that Jimmy Garoppolo is out at quarterback. I'm not sure if Justin Fields has been cleared to play as of yet. Then you got the drama with Devontae Adams out there. Vegas, is sitting at currently 500. Bears, the season is pretty much pretty much a wrap at this point. It's kind of a hard one to go, but I'm gonna go with the road team. Raiders. I think the defense makes enough plays. Defense has played okay through the early part of the season. Offense just hasn't taken off for the Raiders. I do think the Raiders do have enough, even without Jimmy Garoppolo. Aiden O'Connell, even though he is a rookie, didn't look horrible. I would say this: he looked better than Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter, Jesus Christ. But yeah, even if they roll, they're going to roll out Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. He looked pretty good in the action that I've seen so far this season. He looked pretty good. I mean, he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. But the Bears defense is not a defense that capitalizes on those mistakes too often. Like I said, I'm not sure the status of Justin Fields coming in. We'll see. Yeah, Browns, Colts. I might have been excited about this maybe about 2 weeks ago. You know, the Browns, one of the best defenses in the league currently. The Colts were sneakily, very good to start the season. But no Anthony Richardson. I saw what I needed to see from Gardner Minshew last week. Gardner Minshew, very fine backup. Yeah, I'm here because it's a safe space. Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the show. Beautiful. I'm mix a little bit of that other stuff in here, but we'll talk about that later on in the show when I close out because hey, it is what it is over here. Back to these games. Yeah, I would have been excited, like I said, a couple weeks ago for this one to see Anthony Richardson, what he could do against this very talented Cleveland team. I'm not sure of the status of Deshaun Watson. I'm not sure if he's been cleared to play as of yet, but I'm gonna have to go with the better defense in this matchup. Like I said, Gardner Minshew, I've seen what I need to see. He's a good guy coming off the bench in end game, but if he's the starter, ooh, yeah. I got Browns over the Colts in that one. You got Bills, Patriots. It's been talked that been reports out. Robert Kraft has been talking about possibly moving on for Bill Belichick as GM and head coach. There's been rumblings coming out of New England. I think this is another loss for the Patriots. And if I'm Bill Belichick, save face, man. Go ahead, come out and and tell the world, hey, I'm at the end of the season, I'm retired. Save face. Go out with some style and some grace. You don't want to be known as the Super Bowl winning quarterback, not quarterback, but coach with all the rings, and you get fired. Just go ahead, retire. You have nothing else to prove in this game. You're older, man. Just let it go. It's obviously you've lost your touch since Brady's gone. So it's not much really talk about this game. Bills. I got Bills by double digits over the Patriots. Patriots have shown me nothing. Have shown me nothing, and that is partly because this is the team Bill Belichick constructed. I mean, you got talent at a couple places on defense, but for the most part, I mean, Mac Jones, it looks lost. Running game is non-existent. Wide receiver group is horrible. It's just problems all the way around, and it doesn't get any better. Bills go in there and take care of business against the Patriots, even though it's a divisional game. Patriots don't look like they have any fight left in them this year. Possibly the biggest game of the weekend. To me, when I kind of like look at the schedule. Some other intriguing matchups. It's two games I'm looking at. I'm looking at Dolphins, Eagles, and I'm looking at Lions, Ravens. Lions, Ravens, 1:00 kickoff on Sunday. Detroit. It's been talk in the media that this is, them, not the 49ers, are the best team in football. You can make a case for Detroit, consider how well the offense and their defense has played. This season, you can make a case for that. For me, I got 49ers still as the best team, but you can make a case. And those of you who have been following me when I've been doing these shows, since I've been doing them in the old space, know I have been a fan of Detroit over the past couple of years. It was my dark horse last year. They were my dark horse this year. I picked them to win the division. It looked like they're going to run away with the NFC North. And how Detroit's schedule kind of breaks, you might be looking at the number one seed. The NFC might be going through Detroit. But this is a very good game. If you want to sit down and watch 1:00 kickoff, Baltimore, very respectable record, but have shown some issues on the offensive side of the ball, just not as dynamic as I thought it would be coming into the season, considering the talent that they added on the outside of the receiver position. It seems like more of the same old, same old. Lamar or bust. You know, I mean, it's nothing wrong with that formula, but you know, when you bring in an Odell, you draft a Zay Flowers, you expect the offense to open it up more. It just hasn't happened as of yet. Like I said, I like the way Detroit has been playing. It's a team that has who game translates on the road also, which they will be on Sunday. I got Detroit. Winning in Baltimore. But this is one of those games. It's one of those games early in the season, kind of see who's who and what's what. I just had to get my soundboard working, y'all. I'm sorry. All right, moving on with the rest of the schedule. Cardinals, Seahawks. I got Seahawks because they're at home. But the Cardinals have shown to be a feisty team. Kyler Murray is back off the pup list, so he is available to play. I don't think he will be playing coming off the ACL. But he is back on the active roster. I don't expect to see him unless the injury happens. I don't expect to see him playing in this game. And I got Seahawks. If they can clean up the minimal mistakes, cut down on the penalties, they would have beat Cincinnati. And I think Coach Carroll is going to have them recalibrated, refocused. And I got them over the Cardinals. Cardinals have been a game team. They have been a game team. Still, in my opinion, one of the worst teams in the league. But this is a team that goes out there and plays hard, and I can respect that. We got Chargers, Chiefs. I got Chiefs at home. Chargers you have tier 1, then you have tier 2, and with the Chargers, they are a clear tier 2 team. This is not a team that elevates their game with the moment. This is not a team that rises to the occasion. This is not that kind of a team. Justin Herbert has been okay. It has been reported that Derwin James is hurt, and he's been the guy to primarily cover Travis Kelce, so he's out for the game on Sunday. Even though Kansas City hasn't looked as dominant as I thought they would be during the early part of the season, the defense has looked well. The offense is still trying to work some things out. I don't know what the issue is Kelce or bust. They need somebody from that wide receiver core to kind of really step up and alleviate the pressure on Kelce just a little bit. Patrick Mahomes is still playing at a great level. So, it is a division game. I think it'll be a tough game, but I do have Chiefs at home. I'm not going to pick against the Chiefs at home. Yeah. What else? Packers, Broncos. I'm gonna have to go Packers on the road. Broncos have just been too inconsistent on both sides of the ball. Sometimes the offense shows up, sometimes it doesn't. Defense has been a shell of itself for the majority of the season. Packers need a win to kind of stay in that early NFC hunt for a wild card. I don't see the Packers unless all hell breaks loose in Detroit and they fall apart. I don't see the Packers. Their only path to the playoffs is a wild card. Jordan Love has looked okay through the early part of the season. He's been in the league for some years, but it's his first time really starting to get behind there. People getting film up on him. But the Packers are, I think they're the better team coming to the Sunday game. And I got Packers. Against the Broncos. Now, game. If I had to pick between the two, Lions and Ravens or Dolphins and Eagles, I would have to go Dolphins and Eagles as the game of the week. Now, I see Miss Murphy is still here. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of keep it short. Yes, I'm picking against y'all. Yeah, we're just gonna call that the Philly Gong. That's gonna be, I'm gonna rename that on the soundboard. That's the Philly Gong. Yeah. Y'all dead in the water. All right, so you got Dolphins traveling on the road against the Philadelphia team coming off a loss in their last game, first loss of the season. Sunday night game. I think this game would be very competitive. I think Philadelphia has a path to the win if they get back to their roots. And their roots is being able to run the ball, RPO, play action, and control time of possession. You do not, you do not want to get into a up and down track meet with the Miami Dolphins. I think that is not a recipe for success. That is a recipe for disaster. Yes, the Dolphins got blew out by the Buffalo, but even with that, the Dolphins was able to put up some yards and put up some points. Even during that blowout, this is not a game you want to allow Miami multiple possessions, multiple long drives on the field. If you're Philadelphia, um, I think you got to lean on your run game going into this one. Lean on time of possession, get your RPO game going, get your play action going. You don't need the big spectacular play, but you need to control time possession. The way you beat Miami is if you're not forcing turnovers, and this is not a team that turns the ball over a whole lot. If you're not forcing turnovers, you got to control time of possession. And Philadelphia, if you get back to your roots, which is running the ball and playing good solid defense, you have a path to victory. The problem with the Eagles that have been this season, I don't know what it is. It's the disconnect between the quarterback and the offensive coordinator and the philosophy of what this team wants to be. I know the pressure's on Jalen. He got paid. They figure if you got paid, are playing at home, so they may pull out a win. They may pull out a win. Miss Murphy, they may pull it out a win. They may pull out. Jalen may be able to call somebody and pull out a win. Maybe, but I'm not picking them for this week. I am going with the Miami Dolphins. I am going with the Miami Dolphins in this one, just for the simple fact, the offense, I think the offense will be able to put up enough points, and the disconnect the Philly has on the offensive side of the ball will allow the defense not to be as big of a liability as they have been this season. Like I said, Miami, I wasn't encouraged defensively by what they put up against Carolina last week. The fact you allowed them to kind of jump up out on you like that says a lot. But I think Miami comes in with a point to prove. It's a national spotlight. Last time they was in the national spotlight, they got embarrassed by Buffalo. I think they come out here with a motivation. I do think it's going to be a relatively high scoring game. I do think both teams will be over 25 coming to this game. And if I'm Philadelphia, the path to success, get back to what worked for you guys last year. Last year, it wasn't Jalen hurling the ball all over the field. You cannot have 22 rushes and 45 passes. That is not a recipe for success. Not how Philadelphia is built. That is not how you found success last year. You found success last year by leaning on a dominant run game, leaning on the RPO, leaning on your play action, and that sort. Just Jalen dropping back, chucking it across the field. Yeah, he's a talented enough quarterback to kind of get it done in certain situations. But what you've seen so far this season is a disconnect. It just has not been that tight of an offense. The defense has played well. The defense has played well despite all of that. Is this the week the offense kind of gets it together? I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. This is not a game I'm taking to the bank. Like, oh yeah, it's a for sure win for the Dolphins. I do think Philadelphia, if you go back to that philosophy, you can take advantage of this Miami defense. It can be had, but I don't think it's happening. I think Miami comes out here, wins a very close game. It'll be under a touchdown difference. I do think the Dolphins have enough offensive firepower to really challenge the Philly defense, to really put the pressure on the offense. And if what we've seen from Philadelphia, when you put pressure on the offense, the offense can struggle at times. And then this is not a game you want to be. You don't want to be down 14-0 against the Dolphins. That's not a recipe for success. And to kind of close out the breakdowns for the week. Let me go back over here. How much blame do you put on the offensive coordinator? I would say I would say 50-50, Ms. Murphy. Now, here's why I say 50-50. yes, you're an offensive coordinator. You're coming in. You're taking over for a guy who had a lot of success at the offensive coordinator position. And sometimes you see this with guys that come up and get into offensive coordinator positions. They have their offense. They have their vision of what the offense looks like in their head, but then they're not able to mold that plan with the players that they have. That's what you're seeing with Philadelphia. Jalen doesn't look completely confident in the offensive play calling, and it's showing on the field. Jalen has played okay thus far this season, but not to the level that you thought he would be playing, especially coming off what most would consider, even though he didn't win the award, he had a MVP caliber season. Guy gets his money, gets paid. That's what money is not an issue. Jalen has progressed each year. He's been a starter, but what you're seeing now is a complete, kind of a disconnect between, what the offensive coordinator envisions in his mind. And he's Philadelphia's path to success is running the ball. The threat of running the ball. Get Jalen in some RPO situations. Let him read and react to what defense. And if you get the run game going, and you got to be committed to it. Trust me, the Devontae Smiths will be open. AJ Brown will continue to cook because AJ Brown has been in a running style offense before and cooked, i.e., when he was in Tennessee. But Jalen, it's a mix. They're meshing. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, but I say it's 50-50. I think Jalen should be confident enough to, if a play call comes in and you're looking at the front, you're looking at the coverage, and it doesn't look like something that you feel comfortable with. You as the quarterback, hey, you got to pivot, you got to adjust, you got to make adjustments. And I think that's what you're seeing them kind of struggle with. Offense, this kind of looks like they're stuck in quicksand sometimes. When they're running the ball and they're back to what worked for them last year, offense moves well. They're controlling the clock. They're dominating time of possession. That's recipe for success. But when he's back there chucking it, trying to get to his, first, second, third, fourth read, and Jalen's not really, taking off like that. He's trying to work within the parameters of what the offensive coordinator is, and this offensive coordinator, I know you don't want Jalen. He just got paid. I know you don't want him to get beat up on the runs and all of that, man, but you gotta utilize your weapon. You gotta utilize your weapon. You get him out of the pocket, man. Roll him out. Get him to some bootlegs, and allow the threat of him running to, help make stuff easy for the other players on the field. I don't know what's going on with Phil. Like every team is having issues. It's no perfect team. Even when Philly was winning, I was saying something that seems off. And I think it continues this Sunday. Last game, 49ers, Vikings. Yeah, I got 49ers. I have no faith in the Vikings. And, Kirk Cousins is still the quarterback. We need more from Jalen. I don't think it's I don't think it's Jalen. He's part of the problem. He's part of the problem. I don't think I need more from Jalen. I need something different. Jalen, give me what you gave me last year. Cut down on the turnovers. Get your completion percentage up, and lean on the run game. You have. I mean, think about it. Coming into last week's game, DeAndre Swift was top 5 in the league in rushing. And I understand, some games it just don't go like that. You were playing a very good team. You were playing a very good defense. Trust me, I get it. But you got to stick to it. I mean, if handing it off to Swift is not doing it, set up the RPO game. That was part of what made them such a dangerous team offensively last year. Was the threat of the RPO, the threat of Jalen getting out and using his legs. You're not seeing a lot of that this year. But before I kind of close out the show, I saw Beautiful up in here. I'm here because this is a safe space. I'm trying to at all costs keep it like that. Over here, I'm trying to keep it clean, because some of the stuff that I'm observing, it just I mean, it's sad, but at the same time, you can't help but laugh at it, because it's like purity craziness. And it's nice to have a space where I don't have to engage in that kind of stuff. And I like inviting people over who are on that same type of energy. Like, it don't have to be rah 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 all day, all night. Like some of these folks, man, like shit. I'm wondering if you employed. Like, trust me, I get up here, do my shows, and I go kick it with the family. Do me, spend some time with the wife, go to bed. I get up and go to the gym and stuff like that. But to be dedicating 5, 6, 7 hours, it's madness to me. it's it's madness to me. And these folks don't take breaks. These folks don't. This is an intermission. For those that's listening, when I'm doing my shows in that space, like notice, like I do my material. It may be time for a song selection, because I'll drop the link. It may be time for a song selection. At that time, I'm taking a break. I go use the bathroom. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm letting my body is telling me, go ahead, wrap it up. It's been a week. I work. Like, Jesus. Um, but yeah, hey, I'm glad this is a safe, clean space. Speaking of housekeeping, on the other side, like I said, I will be doing a show over here tomorrow. Um, kind of debating if I want to do one over there. I'm not sure. I mean, it's plenty of stuff to talk about, but sometimes I'm not that interested. But I will be doing a build show, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. Um, with the good brother Make a Change, we're going to kind of do like a part 2 of the build we did in regards to growing your channels, and what's been going on with YouTube as far as like monetization and that kind of stuff. So we will be doing we'll be doing that, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. I'm get with him, set up a time. Because I'll let y'all in behind the scenes. This is over here. But yeah, he reached out. It's like, we ought to do another show on that, because blah 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 blah. And I'm all into it. I'm all interested, because it's something productive. I like my fuckery, man, but I need a break sometimes. I need a break sometimes. Like, too many times I pop in the live, like, what the hell are we really doing this again? Like, this is not even new. But anyway, thank y'all for coming out. Remember, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We kind of moving over here. Miss Murph, I'm working on the Twitter stuff. What I'm trying to do with Twitter stuff, some of the people that I'm following, they have shows like on YouTube, and I'm trying to expand the brand. So if you don't see me in the other space, that means I'm kind of networking over here. Kind of get my name in the rotation on some people's shows and that kind of stuff. So that's what we doing. That's what we doing over here. I don't give a fuck what everybody doing over there. Let me get my behind up out of here. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, leave comments. It's all appreciated. We growing over here slowly but surely, but we're doing it the right way, doing it the clean way. End you off with the phrase that pays over here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.